As you can see, it's an absolute beauty of a day out there, but we're on a Hardy 50. We're on LYSITHEA. She's a 2007 boat built up in North Walsham by the magicians at Hardy Marine. This is quite a special boat. It was owned by Mark Funnell, who was MD at Hardy Marine and very sadly passed away very untimely. So she's quite a special boat. We're going to do a walk round tour now. I've been outside. It is absolutely hosing it down with rain. So Harry, our lovely photographer slash videographer here, is filming me doing this, and I'm now going to take over, aren't I, Harry?
Apparently.
Right, here we go. So as you can see, we're here at the main lower helm. So we've got a couple of screens here. This boat is running on a pair of R6 800 MANs. So these MMDS displays give you all the engine data that you require on her. We've got a load more stuff that I'll talk through in a bit more detail, reaching right the way around here. 3 fantastic screens. Hardy Marine cut their teeth building a lot of commercial boats and moulds. So you've got what is essentially a bulletproof commercial workboat hull, which was designed by Andrew Wolstenholme, built by Hardy up in Norfolk. So it's properly put together, massively laid up. Then we've got a really nice teak interior, which they do beautifully. We've got a lower helm down here. We've got an upper helm up on the flybridge. We've got a stair that leads us out onto that. I've ducked around sort of the outside. It is absolutely hosing down with rain, but let's start this tour here. So we have 2 helm seats. We've got co-pilot here with access to all the nav kit, which is over here. We've got 2 VHFs. We've got a pair of EC300 quick shift twin disc throttles here. They're beautiful. You've got lots of different settings on here. This allows you to take station control, so we've got exactly the same up there. To make this boat even easier to handle, she's sitting on a pair of shaft drive engines, so about as easy as it is, with a big keel down the middle, and she's good and heavy. But we've also got a hydraulic package on this, so the thrusters are hydraulic. So we've got a bow and stern. The stern was an addition after initial build. I think that was added in about 2015. We've also got a big Lofrans windlass right up on the foredeck up there, and that is also hydraulic. So as long as we've got the engines on, which are running the hydraulic pump at the back of the port gearbox, then we can use these all day long with no worries that you might have with an electric thruster about thermal cutout and burning it out. So we've got trim tabs here, Vita steering, all lovely and hydraulic, thrusters, proper decent Plastimo offshore 135 compass. We've got another one up the top. Both screens are hybrid touch Ray Marine. We've got camera on this one at the moment. We can draw open array radar. We can have plotting. It's all selectable, so you just pop in here to home. Gives you all of these different options here. So we can have radar if we want on here, and this brings it up. Radar at the moment is not on, so we'll just connect that up and let that do its thing while we're waiting for that to speed up. We've got autopilot here. It's an ST gosh, what is it, 6002? Yeah, 6002 on there. This is a graphic which you can pull up lots of different info on. We've got it set on depth at the moment. We've got a pair of cup holders, throttles, a pair of 240E VHFs. This is rather wonderful. These seats are individually sprung, so you can dial in your weight. They're also can move forwards and aft on these bases here, which have a little bit of storage in the back of them. They're built by Cab. They're really smartly upholstered, and that's the other one of the pair. There we go. That's all doing its stuff with the nav. So yeah, you're up a little plinth here, which gives you much better visibility forward. So plinth up there, it's really nice to step up here. Great thing about this boat, we have access doors, port and starboard. So these lock here and just move aft. exactly the same on the starboard side there. We've got an upper dinette here, so you can have 4 people facing forward. There's a proper nav station desk here. The galley is tucked underneath here, and then we've got all of this kit. So this is all your fridges. So we've got a galley fridge, we've got a saloon fridge, we've got a lower fridge, all that sort of stuff. So there's a low fridge down there, and then we have another fridge down in the galley just there. She's got engine heaters, that's immersion for your hot water. This is all the shore power stuff. So this is amps coming in to the boat. It shows that we've got correct polarity. This shows that our power is on. We're drawing 240 volts off shore power. We haven't got a lot on, so we've got minimal draw there as well. This is a BMV501 bat monitor, so that's just showing battery status. We can select through the different banks. We've got a Phoenix. In fact, we've got on these boats, there's a bank of inverters which sits down towards the aft cabin. So that's the inverter control remote. We've got a Skylar Victron charger, which is float charging at the moment, as you can see. So that's all good. We can dial in how much current we want to come into that using this potentiometer. 24 volt boat, so she's kind of commercial ships wired. As you can see, we've got 26 volts in the system at the moment. This is your Fisher Panda generator. So it has its own independent battery and looks after our offshore power needs when we want 240 volts, but we're not tied to the shore. This is a tank tender gauge, so it's an analog vacuum pressure monitor, and you pump this and you select which tank you want. So we've got water, reserve fuel, starboard fuel and port fuel. Hit those and it will show you how many inches of fluid you have in each. There's a nice little chart and you extrapolate the info. Raymarine speaker for these 2 VHFs down here. Then we've got bilge pumps running through here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bilge pumps. Engine room lights, which we'll have a look at in a moment. She's also got a CCTV. We have heated windscreens here, which is this one. Fuel transfer pump from pumping from reserve tank or port starboard. Bilge alarm, deck lights, instrument lights, not under command lights. You never see that in any other boat apart from a Hardy. So we've got 2 reds up here that will give us not under command, or 2 bulbs up here that will give us not under command. Anchor light, side lights, battery parallel, so we can get engine start if we're down on volts. These are 2 fridges on the 24 volt side. Red lights, proper boat. There we go. Aft deck lights and screen wipers for all 3, and they also have wash wipes here. So the motors are up underneath in here, and then you've got these proper double arm pantographing wipers. Last but not least, this is your wash wipe control. So power on using those, and then you've got intermittent wash wipe, variable wipe, delays, park, all of that sort of stuff. Remote for the hydraulic Loughran's anchor windlass, ST60 plus wind, so that's giving you true or apparent wind. And direction, so really good for parking in a marina. This is a tridata which is giving you whatever you want, but we got it set on log speed and depth, and that's the horn that goes nah. Right, so that's kind of the helm. We'll move forwards. No, we won't. We'll just have a quick look here. Loads and loads and loads of storage on this boat. So we got a little cupboard in here for odds and sods. There it is. Another fridge here, really useful for grabbing drinks to take up there. So this is the flybridge access hatch. So you've got 4 teak treads in a stair and then 3 fixed treads down here. That's lockable. It's got 3 dog latches and comes straight out to the flybridge. This is your main battery isolated control panel. So we've got port engine off, on, starboard engine off, on, engine starts. We've got domestic batteries which you've got on at the moment, and on and off. Engine room temperatures, again, really, really rare. You'll see how good the engine room is and how good the state of the engines is and their paint system. That shows you the temperature in there. Another speaker and screen demisters, inlet fans, out fans, LED TV. It's got Wi-Fi on board, and the autopilot engages power to all of these screens. So that's that bit done. She was retrimmed about 4 odd years ago. That's Harry, our videographer there, who's watching the TV. There he is, very happy. She's in stunning order. The timber is really nice. You've got laminate floors here, incredibly hard wearing, really practical. So you can come in through the side doors in drippy oilies, which we definitely have today. And you're not going to muck up your nice teak floor. We have a Eberspacher heat system here. From memory, it's hydronic and was fairly recently upgraded by Kruger, who are the local agent. Loads of light systems throughout. Clock and barometer. It's a proper boat. As you see, it's absolutely hosing down out there. Got no screen leaks whatsoever on her. Really nicely bonded in screens. Fiddles everywhere, so nothing kind of flies around. You can bung your cup of tea here on your grip pad and it's not going to fly off, and you've got your grip pads there for cup of tea up there. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps down and we're in the galley. So we're forward of the engine room bulkhead here. There's a utility room down there which we'll go to in a moment, but we got this again really deeply fiddled Corian, I think it's Corian, I don't think it's Staron, Corian worktop, and this is a really light, airy place to do your work in the galley. So got a big Bosch convection microwavey oveny does everything thing. No, it doesn't. That's just an oven. 4-ring hob Bosch again, works off shore power of generator set. That is the extractor doodah. Loads and loads of storage all the way down here, underneath here. All of this lot. 2 sinks, loads of lighting, ventilation through here, more cupboards. See that? That is really properly thought out. So you just slide everything in there and it'll do. Same for your cups here, crockery. Heat shield, Neff microwave, power points, fridge, again, laminate flooring. Got a big locker here. This gives you access down into the remotes for pumping waste tanks and all that stuff. There's a valve down there with a motor on it that opens and closes to allow you to flush the contents of your tanks. Loads and loads of manuals all around the boat. And then over here we have a little lobby area with a desk. So you can keep all of your kit here, all the manuals. So that's Fisher Panda, that's the Hardy owner's manual. We've got all full service history here. It's really well done. She's got an EPIRB here, which is registered to the correct owner, which is great to see. We've got lights up here, which are reds, loads of ventilation. So these are ventilating through the deck ventilators, completely forgot what they're called, Dorades, that's it. As you can see, it's absolutely hosing it down, so we'll just make sure that is nice and tight. Again, another heater control. This is the waste tank controls. So these little chappies here allow you to remotely operate the tank flush, which is underneath the floor down there. Little locker here, little stool in there, and that takes you down to third cabin, locker, down into the forward bilge, day heads / engineers heads, work area, and then engine room. So we'll pop down there in a tick. If I haven't completely lost your interest already by droning on, these are, just shows you the kind of quality that we've got here. So proper big hinges, 3 of them, not 2, 3, so the door doesn't wobble. All of the door furniture is kept super neat. This boat is in impeccably presented. Normally, I'll just show you here. So her owner usually has these over there, so you can't knock one into the other and damage it. If you see that there, so if I open that one hard and this door's shut, then that's not going to hurt that door. So anyway, I'm going to behave really well, so I'm going to take these off for now and it will be all showroomy and gleamy. Right, so forward cabin. So it's got a V-berth. It's extended on the starboard side with this. We've got a thumping great locker here. It's raining so hard that I've actually taken this cushion in, which is usually up on the flybridge, but it is miserable outside. But you've got lockers all the way around here. Okay, fire extinguisher, reading lights, port and starboard. Quite good sized lockers here. And this again, this is something that you know you see on Hardy's and you see it on a few other brands, but not as many as it should be. That's entirely carpeted out, so it's completely insulated. And the boat it's been thumping it down here for the last few days, and the boat feels absolutely dry. We've got natural ventilation, we've got forced ventilation if we need it. As you can see, we've got these Dorade feeds here and here. So everything is really just so. That's the reading light for that one. Again, Eberspacher control for the forward area. Just loads of ventilation. Look, vents here and the nice little gauze. It's all really well done. Let's just have a look in here and be nosy. Yeah, more bedding. So loads and loads of area all the way through. Carpeted removable floor. Then we've got this nicely done carcass for the forward ensuite heads. So that's why we have the little bits. So if we shut that again to there, close that door with a mirror on it. It's my birthday, so I'm enjoying this. Right, won't tell you how old I am. Anyway, in we go. This is the forward head slash shower. It is ensuite to this cabin. We've got a Tecmar electric flush WC. That's a heater outlet, so you could, using this drying rail, dry all of your wet oilies in here. We've got a powered fan, ventilator overhead. Hardy put these nice neat switches in here so you can illuminate the lot. Opening hatch, shower tray, proper decent round shower. So this lot just pops around. It's locked at the moment in place using that lock, and that is the shower head. So I'm terribly sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that your viewing pleasure has been interrupted by the camera overheating because I'm talking too much. So really nice sink here. We're in the forward heads, and there's the shower, all that sort of good stuff. Tray down here, thermostatic valve. Nice teak floor here, again with the tray underneath it. All super easy to keep clean, great for drying stuff. You can put all your oddments there. Loo roll, invaluable I find. You can lock this door like that and open it like that. There we go. Beautifully done. Just beautifully done. So anyway, we're going to head out of here, forward cabin, turning right, heading aft, through the galley area, and we have one stair down here. As you'll remember, that's the lobby area, sort of here. We've got a big storage locker there. We've got access down to the forward bilge in there, which is all nice and dry. I'm going to show you first this side cabin. So the Hardy 50 was designed as a 6-berth boat. So we have 2 bunks in here. Got the lower and upper. It's really nice. You know, you've got opening port light there. You've got reading lights. You've got power. That one is fixed. Independent heat control. Big locker in there. That's actually carcassing for the back of the washer dryer combo. Some of these boats have washer dryers like this one does. Some of them have big freezers, so we'll have a look at that in a moment. Again, washer manual fire extinguisher, but really beautifully all trimmed out. The timber is absolutely first class. Hardy are really good at this, but this one has been kept beautifully. This shows you her ribs, so they're just massively built, these old girls. Awesome boat upwind, through a bit of chop. That's the little reading light on that one. And I think, see that there and that there, I reckon we've got a lee cloth underneath here, and there it is. So that's a lee cloth, so when it cuts up rough and you want to stay snug in your bunk on the top up here with your legs down there, you just clip this lee cloth up using these hooks. It stops you falling out of bed. It's also very good for if you've got a load of bags and you're on passage, you pack all the bags up here so you could keep the floor space, and it stops them all falling overboard and getting in the way. So we'll just put that back nice and neatly there, like that, and that's all done. There we go. Right, we shall leave that third side cabin. We will open this door. We will watch out that we don't bang the doorknobs, and we've got a day head, which is essentially a loo that can be used by that cabin, which is just behind here. So we've got a sink, shower sump tray here, Jabsco manual flushing loo, and hot and cold tap there. Overhead light. What's also brilliant about this is that's the engine bay. This is the laundry, whatever. This is all plastic. Got loads and loads of area to dry stuff. It's just a brilliantly conceived boat. If I shut this door, which has been cleverly locked by myself there, again, look at that pipe on the doors. We've got a washer, dryer, all that sort of stuff here. We have a bulkhead here that separates the engine room from forward area of the boat, and drawer underneath there. Bilge inspection hatch down there. Again, all in laminate. This is your ED830 fire detection system. We've got breakers here for domestic stuff like cooker rings and ovens and stuff, so that's main domestic. These are all your trips for pumps, heaters, lights, all of that. So if they pop out, you just flick them back across. Light, power, hot water cylinder, hot water flow jet pump for water. Swand. What do you call these things? A vice. So this boat has no vices apart from that vice. That opening port like that, it's just a brilliant area for keeping all of your stuff. It's a workshop. So that's there, so it's right next to this engine bay. We're just going to have a look in here because I love these engine bays. So it's a bit, if you're ex-Navy, you'll like this. It's apart from not having a hoop there to jump through, it's a bit like being on a sub. So we've got a pair of R6 MAN diesels, 800 horsepower pop, electronically managed via those MMDS screens up there. Forward bulkhead. This is the wiring for starboard lump, starboard fuel tank, starboard shutdown, starboard strainer, starboard seacock, starboard engine feet, starboard sump. It's absolutely super clean. I'm going to walk through the starboard engine first of all. So we've got header tank here at the front with your coolant. We've got raw water inlet valve here and pump. Moving aft, got the main cylinders underneath there. Air filter. Got fuel. main gearbox. These are twin discs, he says. Yeah, they're twin discs. So big thumping great gearbox, and on the back of each one there is a large hydraulic PTO. So that's powering your ancillary stuff there for the hydraulics, and the hydraulic tank is over there. Quick look round here. So thumping great gearbox, big engine, beautiful engine bay feet. As you saw earlier, it's a very constant temperature in here. There is zero corrosion on these engines. These are absolutely mega for a 2007 engine. I mean, these are super duper. Straight shaft, straight out the back. Mains seals here with spare shaft seals in that carrier there. Big coupling underneath there. We've got fuel filter starboard, fuel filter port, oil cooler, exhaust bin, exhaust outlet, turbo. Look at that. So rather than have it flinging around in the wind, we've got this thumping great bolt that is connected via a rod onto the back of the gearbox there. So nothing moving around, everything is damped on rubber mats. You've got the Eberspacher kit is there. This is your fuel manifold with fuel returns, tank fill, port, generator return, starboard engine return, all really nicely done. Port tank fill, transfer pump handle. So at the moment they're isolated, so they're working independently. Got your main Seafire auto fire extinguisher there. It's really beautifully done. Look at this. This is engine supply. All really well labelled out. You've got deep bilge here, so this is the deepest part of the bilge here. So there's a little sump there with its own bilge pump, gulper pump there as well. Generator, Fisher Panda. This is all of the cabling going in with a connection to battery. So the main engine's inside this sound shield. We've got inlet and outlet fans. So all really nicely done. That's your main hydraulic tank there. I think it's Vitus. It's Dutch, it's typically good. Not a trace of any coolant anywhere, and there's a hydraulic oil cooler tucked around there. You've got tank shut off is down in there. There's a little cable going down to a shut off lever on that port tank, and get down here just to give you unfettered view of the port engine. So exhaust, loop feeding back, cooler here, gearbox oil. They're not handed on these, but you can get to the starboard one absolutely fine, which is just there, as you can see, little red handle. Magic gearbox, really well looked after and in sparkling condition. Moving through the main engine block, you've got connections on here, starter motor, main oil sump. These are handed, so you've got good access to them. You can get round the engine as long as you're fairly small and can fit through that gap at the front. You can get round to the outboard side. But look at that. That is the way to present a bilge on a boat. 24 volt alternators both sides, so plenty of power. That's the top of the rockers. Port side electronics, strainer basket. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies again from the technical department about the overheating battery. That's obviously terribly bored of this tour, but there we go. So yeah, that's bye-bye to the engine room. Bye-bye MANs. So we'll close that. Really nice dog latches here. Clunk, clunk. Okay, let's head forward. So going through the day head, up over the bilge inspection, up over the remotes, up over the storage, and up to here. This is your main saloon area. So forward dinette area, all facing forwards. Look at that silence. So she's 50 feet. There is, I'm trying to think if there's another boat at 50 that offers such a brilliant kind of social, loungy, relaxy area. It's all really nicely retrimmed in blue fabric. We've got opening hatches here. We've got stereo speakers here. This is a vent that's on the back of the radar arch. Yes, it is. That gives us just passive ventilation. All these windows are fixed. We've obviously got these doors that you can open. Just we crack that one and that one over there to get air through. You can actually open the flybridge hatch lid up there as well. So AV in here, dropping TV. This does all of your gubbins with DVDs and Humaxes and Raymarine STV and Pioneer stereo. Then the rest of it is storage, fridge up there, heater, up down for TV, TV remote, a television pops down into there, glass of storage, books and stuff. Oh, here we go. Table here, just like that. It is beautifully, beautifully presented, this boat. I mean, look at it. It's just, honestly, it's like new. Carpets have been retrimmed. The upholstery has been retrimmed. Headlinings are all spot on. Timber here. She's left with these curtains drawn the whole time and with screen covers on the front screens. And as you can see, absolutely not. And it is, again, look at this. That's how much it's raining. It's like Niagara coming off the fly deck, but not a drop around here. So that is your kind of saloon area. So it flows really well, the boat. You've got aft cabin back here. Walk up through here. You've got a nice ET area there. You've got another eating area here. And you've got galley down there. And access all the way around. All of this glazing. So it's pretty super pleasant. Right, back to biz. We have stairs down here. They have battery connectors underneath. I'll show you that in a tick. We have inverter cupboard here. Got night lights. We're back through into this wonderful aft cabin. So full beam aft, underneath the aft deck floor. So the crane is mounted about there. So we can carry a dinghy on there. Actually, the crane is completely removable, so if you don't want it, you can take it off. We've got all the original guardrails and all of the bits, and it can just be taken off and put into storage. Super huge berth. There you go, full walk around. Again, all of these are lined with carpet, so no damp whatsoever. And large hanging locker, he says here. There you go, so locker there. This is the carcassing for the deck. So really useful for boot storage. Keep that just shut like so. Right, double hanging locker, another long coat locker here. So they've all got hanging rails in. There's hanging rail that goes actually behind the TV. There's our telly up here. More lockers here with ventilators underneath. Got fly screens for overhead deck hatches. There you go. Really good coat rack. There is a dressing area here with a pull-out stool. Lighting there. Pull-out mirrors. So you can put your makeup in the morning. It's all just really nicely done. Look at the quality of this joinery. So the grain continues. right the way through. Just masses and masses of area. Again, fire extinguisher, upholster headboard, lights here, all these opening port lights right the way around, so you can get masses and masses of airflow through here. Big corner cabinets. These are accessed down into the lower bilge areas if you need them. Again, all fully carpeted out, beautifully done. And before the camera overheats again, we'll just have a pop in here. So aft ensuite heads. It's raining a lot. We have heat, hooks, rail, mirror, basin, storage, pump for loo, all electric of course, shower tray, whopping great shower enclosure with a roundel screen there, tray for putting shower gel and all that stuff, more storage. It's just a really good boat. What's that light overhead? So ladies and gentlemen, oh hang on, one more bit. As I said, it's quite complicated electrical setup with lots of generators and inverter bits and stuff, but actually it's not. So you've got your 3 inverters here. These are fooling the batteries into thinking, or the boat into thinking, that the batteries are connected to shore power to give you 240 volts. So we got 3 24 volt 3000 inverters, so plenty of power there. Cabling goes underneath here. There's your manual isolators are here, and then there is more electricery in there, so that's your main Skylar charger. And then underneath here we have a beautiful piece of select teak with another bit underneath with relays and all of that jazz and some more switches. So once you get your head around the boat, it's actually really easy to manage, really well built like a brick outhouse. You know, that is that thick, so that's 2 centimeters of solid teak, and the boat just is built like that. It's fantastically accomplished piece of boat building. She's available with us now. She's a 2007 one. She is called LYSITHEA. They didn't build terribly many, very sadly. She's a wonderful cruising boat, and we'd love to see you on board to show you around as and when it suits. That's bye-bye from a very wet Hugh on his birthday, and bye-bye from Harry. We're looking at LYSITHEA. She is a Hardy 50. She was built in 2007 by good old Hardy Marine. She's pretty round bilged, long keel, twin screw, twin shaft drive, MAN R6 800 horsepower diesel engines, flybridge up the top, twin opening doors, one either side, big hydraulic package, so she's got hydraulic thrusters forwards and stern. She's also got hydraulic windlass up here. Massively built, beautiful boat, very fine 4-foot, fantastic into a head sea. Masses and masses of interior volume. You've got a side anchor or warping point on here on this cheek, and then you've got your main anchor, which is a big old Lumar claw. He says straining to see how big it is, but it's pretty substantial. That's a large piece of steel. Striker plate at the forward end, stainless steel protection plate for the forward bits, blue hull band. She was polished this season, so she's in remarkably fine order. You've got full height rails here right the way around. Incredibly safe boat. We've got one opening port light there, that one's fixed, that's into the workshop area on the starboard side of this vessel. That's your galley, that's your forward cabin. There's a side cabin also over the other side. Opening door here, Harry sitting in the warmth in there. Flybridge over the top, big rail guiding you forwards when you're on deck here. Got a bimini for those beautiful days in the English summer. Got a radar there for when it's like it is now, which is an open array HD colour. We've got a radar reflector, Glomex antenna for TV. She's also got Rayner Nest TV, which is that dome over there. Life raft here. The radar arch can fold down. There's a big hinge at the back end there, and there's an inspection port into it there. Two big bolts and the whole lot comes down. Get some very burly friends and you'll be able to push it back up. This one has got two options on the aft deck. We've got at the moment got a rib stored on here on these chocks, which can be bought if you want it. We've got a hydraulic crane here for swinging it out over the side. Really easy if you want to keep this as just an aft deck with a seating area. All the rails are available from the owner, so we could remake that. It's fairly simple. Yeah, you've got this beautiful walk round side deck right the way around, so perfect ring deck. Bathing platform, so you can drop a tender on here. It's got standoff bars to keep the tender upright if you want it to be. 6 bomb tubes, so fender baskets back there. Magma barbecue, absolutely vital in this sort of weather. Access stair up on the port side, and that's a plate for holding your outboard engine. Again, massive bits here, so proper commercial grade mooring gear. Deck scuppers here to keep your decks dry so the water pours out of here like it is doing today. We have a Vespaca system on board. That's the exhaust there for it. That is inlet outlet for engine bay, just there. There's a ladder that is stored there, which drops down on these two eyes and comes down to about there, which is an easy step on. Or you can be a mountaineer like me today and do the enormous climb up like that and you're on board. Gutters to stop the rain, which is fairly oomphy today. They've cancelled racing at Cows Week, so it's got to be blowy. Again, side opening door, starboard side. Walking forward, this really good size grab hold. It's built like a brick outhouse up in dear old North Balsham. Teak decks in nice nick. Got passive delayed ventilators here. We've got electrically heated screens on all the forward screens and the forward side screens. Big wipers with washer up there. You can see that little spigot up there. Big pantographing wipers. Foredeck here, decent overhang on the eyebrow to keep a bit of rain off your screens. As you can see, it's dropping about there. So on a rainy day, all of this stays a wee bit clearer than this. Foredeck teaked, raised. Opening ventilation hatches for forward cabin. Big locker up here, so you've got deck hatch. It's actually not bucketing quite as much as it was, he says. That's storage for your pet owl. That is your anchor chain. Hydraulic Lofrans windlass underneath there, with warping drum for that port hand roller. The sort of quality of stainless that you get with the Hardy. Built like a brick outhouse, you know, nigh on commercial build, it really is. You've got a little battle flag holder there. Up and down for your windlass. You also got a remote inside and a remote at the top helm. You can get to inside the cleats if you ever needed to repair or get to the bolts underneath via those hatches. All pretty good. Harry's still sitting in there, which is annoying, but there we go. Flybridge screen here. Moving aft, we've got deck suction pump outs and rinse outs here. for holding tanks, which are underneath the galley floor essentially, down a bit. Port hand door, gutter, big rail. All this glazing is fixed, so you can't get a leak through that. These are rails for bimini, nav lights. As you can see, we've got 2 lights up there, so you can have a not under command light, which is really rare on a non-commercial boat. So there is a switch for NUC. Side gates, so the lower one is pelican clip. The upper one here, this is great, look at this. So you've got a recess in the steel and a piston there. Open it up. So if you want to close it, pop it down, retract, spring goes forward, solid rail. Really good height, they're at my hip height. I'm just going to walk around this aft deck. So we've got 1 step up and we're onto this upper level. We've got a rib here with a tin bottom alley thing, which should be, it looks like a Tsar from 2018/2019 with a 20 horse Suzy lean burn on it with EFI. That's the radar arch thing. So NUC lights there, 2 reds, 1 above each other. Aft light, radar, inspection hatch, ventilation into the saloon, ladder up, 2 opening hatches, life raft with what looks like hydrostatic hammer release on that side. 4 person, sorry. Big dinghy crane here, hydraulic, big, angry, lifts this thing out, puts it in the water. Gate down to bathing platform down there. Big bits of chunky stainless, Raymarine STV, satellite thing. So if you don't have the crane, you could put the original railings back on and all of that stuff and have it as an aft area. So fully mountable, demountable. Bomb tube for 6 fenders in a rack. There's quite a useful store underneath here actually. It's a locker. It's relatively deep and does from memory go out a bit port and starboard, so it's quite good for fuel tanks and stuff like that. The essential magma barbecue for this afternoon, and yeah, that's a grip plate for outboard engine. Move around here, got a horseshoe life buoy there. We've got the strap down points for the tender, more ventilation, something to say that it's a Hardy. Up here, life raft cradle, 8 person raft on here. Solas, that's your hydrostatic release mechanism. Shore power in here. This is the inspection hatch for releasing these 2 bolts. You release those 2 bolts, and utilising these hinges, you can get this boat down in her apparent air draft. So this folds aft. You just need some very big burly types to get it back up again. That's the side boarding ladder, which just clips on using these 2 little knurly bits, sits against the hull, so makes boarding a joy. And then we've got 2 steps up here, teak treads, teak fly. As you can see, this here is removable, so if you had an absolute nightmare, you can pull the top off the fly bridge and pull the engines out. Brilliant. Hopefully you will never have to, and they're blooming reliable, these MANs, but for major surgery that's available. Carcassing right the way around, so we've got storage underneath here for all your cushions are up here, which have been nicely retrimmed in grey. Bimini, 2 helm seats, and then all your helm kit is underneath there. There's a seat squab that goes in there, so you've got a forward facing seat squab there. Loudspeaker, another loudspeaker, and then this is the hatch down into the main cabin. So Boat is beautifully maintained, beautifully all covered up, but that gets you straight down onto the stairs, which take you down to just aft of the main helm. And that is it from an absolutely stunning day up on the flybridge of LYSITHEA.